People don't see how hard it is to look so brave. They don't see how much you have silent nights with your husband because you're both so overwhelmed. Or, you know, the sadness that comes with being home alone all day and you just really want to talk to another adult. It's tough to know if it's really the right decision that you're making.
Hi, and welcome to Courtside Conversations. This episode is for the woman who's learned to embrace her talents, even if they lead her in a different direction than she expected. I hope you enjoy. Today, I am joined by Randi Carlini, and I admire Randi because she is someone who gives 150% to whatever she's doing, and I think is the best mom. So, Randi, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was sweet.
Okay, can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. My name is Randi. I am Courtney's cousin. We are 4 years apart.
Mm-hmm.
And to my knowledge, have always been best friends. Right?
That's right.
Okay. I have 3 kids, and we live in Omaha, Nebraska. Right now, I work at the children's school as a first grade teacher's assistant, and it is incredible and exactly where I would love to be right now in my life, surrounded by 24 7-year-olds every day. And I have a degree in biology. However, my primary workplace experience has been in hospitality. And currently, my career is wherever my family needs me.
And how do you and I know each other?
You're my cousin.
Yeah.
And first childhood best friend. I don't think I had really close friends until like second grade. Cause I was like, I have my cousins. They're my favorite people in the world.
I know some of my favorite childhood memories are with you and the crew.
And now we have our own crew and they get to have their memories.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm here this weekend. So cheers to that.
Cheers to paying it forward.
Mm-hmm.
And may the legacy continue.
Yes.
Okay, and what are we drinking?
A spritzer.
Yes.
This is what we drink when we're together because it never fails.
Okay, and Randi, can you tell us a little bit about your career journey?
Sure. I spent most of my working hours growing up in the service industry. I've been everything from a event setup crew to back of house to bartender, server, hostess, all the things. Mm-hmm. And after college, I used most of those skills to transfer into the hospitality industry. I thought, well, if I can sell cocktails and meals, I could probably sell a hotel room. Mm-hmm. So I looked at Indeed and I found the first hotel I could find, put in an application, and fell in love with hotel event planning, sales. It was just such a wonderful industry to be in. So I did that for a while. Came back to Omaha and we had 3 children pretty quickly and had to reroute what I was doing to support my family at the time because we don't have any family in Omaha. Now I stay home with our kids and I just picked up a first time position at their school working as a first grade para. So when I'm not doing that, I'm taking care of the kids and managing our house.
And then if someone's looking at your career journey, including your choice to stay home and raise your kids, what are they not seeing?
I think when I was visualizing my career and when you're going to college and you're looking at yourself like, what do I want to look like in 20 years? Where do I want to be? I very much had this mindset that I was going to be going into a certain field and I would do that field for my whole life. That's how I've seen others around me do it. And I just realized that my skill set, my talents have kind of ebbed and flowed. And instead of focusing in school on what I was good at learning, I wish I would have spent more time focusing on my talents and how I would like to use that in a daily setting. My degree is actually in biology. That didn't serve me in terms of filling my bucket. I loved working with people. I loved being social. I loved the happy that came with having crowds and hosting and celebrating. So I think what people don't see is it's okay for you to hone in on your skill set and talents and grow with yourself, because over time that person in your 20s that had a certain way of what you thought your life was going to look like is different in your 30s. And now that I'm approaching 40, I feel like I finally have a sense of grace in falling in love with your own skill set and talents and how you want to use that daily.
I love what you said about falling in love with where you are and your talents and just honing it and letting life kind of present to you what your next move may be.
Right.
Can you tell me about a time at work when you realized that you truly belonged, or a time when you realized you did not belong?
Ooh. I'm very proud of blind sense of confidence. I was not even a year into my very first hospitality job. There's a large account coming through. Multiple hotels were interested in this account. And I had a unique flair in presenting to them. Instead of trying to sell something to them, I went in with kind of like quirky, funny pitch, but went above and beyond in the presentation, right? And I got that piece of business. It was over $1 million piece of business. And here I am, 24 years old, with no background in this, and just killed it, honestly. And I was like, all right, here we go. It made me feel like maybe I can do this. A time where I didn't feel like I belonged, gosh, probably when I made the decision to not pursue a career with my biology degree. That next step for me would have been pre-med. And I just felt like I should be excited. I should be thrilled. All of this hard work. And I just wasn't thrilled at all. I felt like I was walking away from 4 years of my life. And is this a huge mistake? And do I just need to push through? Walking away was actually horrifying. But in that, within 12 months, and then getting that new job and then landing that really big piece of business I had no business closing on, it came very full circle for me. But I feel like if you're listening to where your heart is and where you feel like your skill set is, things will fall in line for you.
That's right. I can totally appreciate why that would make you feel like, yeah, this is my place. This is where I belong.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about the best or worst advice that you've ever received and how it's shaped you today.
Oh my gosh. This one's kind of corny, but I worked at the Olive Garden in college, and my manager at the time pulled me aside and he said, "You're so great with people. When you're walking around, think about your smile. When you pick up the phone, smile before you answer the phone. You sound more pleasant, you look more pleasant, and it actually affects your mood." That has stuck with me. So, just that little tip of before you go into a room, before you answer the phone, just pause and smile, and it will change your whole perspective about what's actually happening around you. What was the question?
Like the best
Worst
or worst
advice?
Yeah.
Don't get married so young. We were 23 when we got married. I didn't like that advice.
Well, and
it worked out.
Yeah.
That was terrible advice. Didn't follow that.
Yeah. Everyone has their own path. So, okay. Throughout your career, tell me about when self-doubt has come up for you.
Oh, a lot. Staying home is a big choice that we made financially. We had just had Connor, our third baby, and Dane just transferred over to a private firm where they start you at a lower level, and it's commission. And so the pressure of commission was hard. There is a lot of self-doubt when you are kind of grinding it out like that and wondering, okay, if I did go back to work, if I did contribute financially, then that would put less stress on his plate. But then half of it would go to childcare. So there's a lot of self-doubt in, are we making the best choice? Is it fair for him? Is it fair for me? But ultimately, we felt very strongly that me being home with them young was non-negotiable, even if it came with these extra sacrifices and stresses. We really had to put our heads down and, even though my day looks drastically different than his day, being able to come together at the end of the day and be like, same team. But it makes you question, is this the right choice? And not a lot of people, my friends, were doing it either. So it does come with a little bit of isolation. Not having my family close by, my sister close by, my cousins close by, it's tough. It's tough to know if it's really the right decision that you're making. You asked what don't they see? They don't see how hard it is to look so brave. They don't see how much you have silent nights with your husband because you're both so overwhelmed. You know, the sadness that comes with being home alone all day and you just really want to talk to another adult. That's what they don't see. But I think through all of that, it made me a very capable mother. There is a silver lining in it if you're willing to look for that. You could focus on how hard things feel, or you could look back and be like, well, actually, because I did everything, I am very capable.
So when you've had those moments of self-doubt, how do you just continue to move forward?
I pray.
Mm-hmm.
My faith is the first tool in my toolbox that I reach for when I have doubt. My faith is the only thing that has been my constant source of you're going to be okay. You need to start listening to the talents I've given you. And when I come across anything that makes me feel less than, it's the first thing I reach for because I am not in control of what happens, but I can control how we all respond. Prayer can happen anytime, anywhere. For me, it's very much a conversation that feels as normal for me as everything else that we do.
Yeah. Okay. If you were starting your career today, knowing what you know now, what, if anything, would you do differently?
I feel like my career is wherever my kids are. I don't have a certain idea in my mind because wherever they are is where I am right now. I do love being a first grade TA. I love children in general. When my children are at a point where they are out of the house and I'm kind of looking to fill my cup, maybe then I would, kind of see what that looks like for me. I do think postpartum women in the United States don't have appropriate care. And I would love to support women during that stage of life because for me, having 3 kids so close in age, we were very fortunate to have my mom come out for a week for each of the kids, but then she would go home and then Dane would go back to work. Again, just what are you passionate about? Now that I'm a mother, I see the world in a different lens. I would really like my next move to be more purposeful. I do better when I'm providing value.
I have no doubt you'll do it. Okay. Are you up for a quick lightning round?
Sure.
The rules are first thing that comes to your mind. So don't overthink it.
Okay.
There's no right or wrong answer. And when I ask the questions, I am thinking from a workplace lens. So think about that. Okay. Do you prefer to work virtually or in person?
In person.
What is your biggest workplace pet peeve?
Probably like body odor.
Yeah, I get that. Okay, what is your least favorite thing that people say in a work environment?
Like email sign offs that basically like fuck you, but in a nice way, like
Yeah.
just so passive aggressive.
Yeah. If you came with a warning label, what would it say?
Looks like a huge bitch, actually super nice.
Okay, and then if little Randy were to see you today, what do you think she would say?
I think she would be like, you did a good job.
Yeah. Okay, my last question for you. It doesn't have to be like a lightning round question. So.
Okay.
What is bringing you joy these days?
Honest answer is having a better relationship with Jesus.
Yeah.
Because once I realized how little I actually control and how much more peace I get when I allow what's going to happen, it's an incredible freeing feeling. It's an incredible sense of comfort.
Yeah, I love that. Well, Randy, I'm so grateful that you let me do this with you. It's so fun. One thing that I'm taking away from the conversation is what you said about falling in love with where you are in life and what you have to bring and leveraging your talents in the space that you're in and not fighting against it. I like to close this podcast with a toast, and I ask my guests, do you have a favorite toast
Oh,
that you would like
God.
to close with?
Yeah, I do.
There are
Good ships and wood
wood
ships
ships
and ships that sail the sea, but the best ships are friendships, and may that we always be.
Yeah. Cheers. Randi, thank you so much for joining me. I loved having you. And listeners, if any of this conversation resonated with you, please do share this with the woman that you love. And if you and I are not yet connected on LinkedIn, please come say hi. I'd love to chat. And until next time, we'll see y'all courtside. Cheers.
Cheers.